Hello everybody, welcome to the next third meeting of the Roland Heights, the new. We used to have the Roland Heights Club about 2 years ago in a different location, and then we closed it down. We were closed for 1 year, and then we started this January when we opened the office in Roland Heights. So I want to thank the whole office for giving us all this room and space. And this is actually, so for those who are curious, Realty One actually is a brokerage house, just like Keller Williams or Prudential or anybody else. And one of the advantage of Realty One is this is, I don't know how they do that, but they give 100% of the commission to the agent. So I am the broker of record here. I'm not an agent, so I'm not benefiting from them in any way, but I'm just broker of record. But I just wanted to, as a event or as a location sponsor, I want to let you know that they are one of the brokerage houses for people to contact. And so let me now go through a little bit of, every time we have a meeting, I can update people on what has been happening over the last month. And one of the things, if you looked at the blue sheet in the front, it basically describes all the different things that we do. So because we are constantly repositioning ourselves, and so we are always updating people on what we do and how we can help you more. So what we started as a purely hard money company, and by hard money we mean a short-term bridge loan for fixed rate. That was the only thing we did. Even today, that is the main thing we do, but we do now all kinds of funding. That's why our name changed from Triumvirate Funding, which is somewhere there, to the Funding Warehouse. The Funding Warehouse is somewhere else. Funding Warehouse stands for our warehouse of funding. That means almost every aspect of funding we can take care of. In the blue sheet, the number one is loan for fix and flip and commercial bridge. That means either for a single family fix and flip or for a commercial, turnaround deal, we do the short-term funding. And those are very asset-based, and that's our primary business. But on top of that, we also do commercial lending nationwide. That means we do apartments, we do hotels. Last month, the speaker here was speaking on hotels, and we are already doing some deals with them. So we do hotels, we do almost everything that is commercial. And one of the biggest difference between us and other commercial lenders is if we like the deal, but the borrower doesn't have everything needed to close, we would do a joint venture with the borrower. And that makes us apart. So that is something which, so we are not a pure lender. We can switch between lender and investor. And that is number two. And number three is a very popular thing nowadays, hybrid loans for residential rental properties. A lot of people own rental properties all around the country. And one of the problem now, a lot of people own it cash, which I think is not very good. I mean, I don't like owning things for cash because then your returns are very, very low. So but financing a lot of properties all over the country is kind of difficult with all the lending and everything. So right now there are a lot of non-bank lenders, a lot of the hedge funds who offer almost bank-like rates on 30-year financing without all the bank problems, without all the bank's strict criteria. We have 30-year fixed at 6.5 with almost no documentation. So these are the programs available for all over the country on different, and these programs are increasing more and more. And who are the main lenders? And we work with all of them. Is the main lenders are the hedge funds. Because remember, the hedge funds started owning a lot of rental properties, but that's not their real business. So now instead of owning the rental properties, they want to fund the rental properties. And the rates are slightly higher than banks, but they're more common sense. Banks have that Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac rule. They can only do 10 properties, per person. These ones don't have any of that. This very commercial style underwriting. They only check the credit score a little bit, but their requirements are really low, like 580, 620 in that range. And other than that, no documentation, no tax return. Even if there is tax return, it's just basic. They don't really do the TTI. They're very, very property focused. So that also, there are more and more programs coming on that. And on top of that, we do all other kind of loans, other loan types. Those are, I call it the crazy loans, which many of them, we are the only ones who do it. One of the most popular thing we do is earnest money funding. And that is the critical part where we have no competition is when somebody finds a good deal to tie it up, they have to put the good faith deposit or earnest money to escrow. And that one, unless they do that, they cannot, maybe they have $1 million in their bank, friends, whatever, but they cannot go to anybody to get money unless they have a deal. Because they will say, oh, you don't have a deal, talk to me when you have a deal. But to get a deal, they have to put their earnest money. So we do a lot of earnest money lending nationwide for commercial properties, fix and flip properties, everything. And that gives investor the first hook on the property. And we also, is very good for wholesalers. Because as a wholesaler, you can tie up 20 properties and we can provide all the earnest money. If 3 of them wholesale and the other 17 just get out, it's still good. So that's a very popular product we have. And we have a way of securing ourselves. So it's a very unique strategy, which is very unique to us. And anything that is out of the box or in creative, we can do that all the time. So, and we will soon, not yet, but next quarter, my goal is we will be funding on notes. So that's coming. For funding of non-performing and performing, mostly non-performing notes. So here, and this sheet is all about our borrowing side. We actually had a paper on lending, which I didn't bring, but I can just talk about it. So on the lending side, we are always looking for private lenders. We are a hard money broker, so we are the matchmaker between the borrower and the lender. And we are always looking for trust deed investors. And one of the things is we do lend nationwide. So if you have projects outside, you can bring that to us also. And our trust deed investments, we have additional ways of securing the investor. Like on top of, most of the people have this very negative thought about seconds. And they think that seconds are kind of risky because they're behind the first. But let me ask you one thing. If you ever buy a property and you get a loan from the bank, then you are what? You are second. And if you buy a property and you get a loan first loan from one bank and second loan from another bank, then actually the second lender is ahead of you. You are third. The second lender is second. The only difference is the second lender, to get the title to the property, they have to do a foreclosure. They have to take it from you. However, we have different ways of avoiding that. One of the ways is, first of all, from the practical point of view, we lend to investors. And we don't lend to owner-occupants. So they don't have an emotional tie to the property. If the project goes wrong, what we do is we tell them, okay, we release you from personal guarantee, you give us the deed and let's be friends. Come back when you are ready again. So that's way we can get the deed very quickly. If that fails, we have other ways. What we do is we get a security agreement against the LLC that owns the property. So we can take over the LLC without going through a regular foreclosure. We often do more aggressive steps where in the LLC operating agreement, we do an amendment where the lender becomes one of the LLC members. And then they have an operating agreement in the LLC which says that if the other member doesn't make the payments, this member takes over the LLC, and by taking over the LLC, they actually take over the property. So by doing this, our seconds are more or less a JV partner with the borrower. And that makes us make these second loans very, very safely. If you were to buy this property, if you were somebody presented with this property and you like it, if you were to buy this, there's no reason why it is more risky for you to be a second lender. So with that, we do all kind of creative loans, which is a win-win for all sides. And for example, New York is a very, very difficult state to foreclose. But we use the exact same strategy to protect us when we lend in New York, because we are actually switching the borrower-lender scenario. So we don't ever have to foreclose to get the property. We just take over the personal property with the LLC membership or corporate shares to get the property. So those are, and we often have these, every week we close about 3 to 4 loans a week at least. So every week we have these sheets which tells what are the current second lending opportunities available, and we give them out. But this time I forgot, but I can always email those to you. So that's that. And if you're ever interested in discussing more with us, you can discuss. Plus, we also started what is called an affiliate program, where if any of you are not a borrower or lender yourself, but you want to bring them, then we have an affiliate program which we can discuss separately. If you know a borrower or you know a private lender, and you can bring them to us and we close the deal, we share our income with you. So that's the new announcement is, that was my goal this quarter, and I'm very close to it. We are acquiring an escrow bank. So from maybe from tomorrow, I will announce it. I just saw the email. So the escrow company, we will, because we are trying to get more things inside. Now many of the borrowers complain, the escrow and all this. So if you when you are doing a loan with us, we also have an escrow company now. So with that, we can keep more things in-house and give a more efficient service. Plus, one of the things I will focus on is our escrow company will be super friendly to wholesalers. So wholesale deals will go much more smoothly because I personally will make sure the escrow officer doesn't freak out when they see a strange contract, like assignment of contract fee. So one of the things I find is transactional finance. It's very common. But I can tell you 95% of the time or more, I can talk people out of it. You don't need one. If the deals is done properly at escrow, you don't need transactional finance. So there is ways to do wholesaling, even though there's a short sale, even though there's an REO, even though the seller says do an assignment. There's a very easy way to do it. And right now I try to explain, escrow companies blow it up, so I said, okay, I'll get my escrow company, and my escrow company will do it right. So that is something also will be, so the goal here is always to bring more resources so all of us can together become successful. Mega Mastermind is all about doing deals. In all the other clubs, not all, many of them, all they do is a bunch of things they promote and sell. Ours, we try to give it to everything at a either free or affordable price, and we want you to make the deals happen. So with this, I will now invite our speaker for tonight, Duncan. He has come all the way from the East Coast, and he will show you some automation. Automation, I think, is very good. But you can get all the knowledge, but even the most skilled person needs to automate his life to do things better. I wish somebody could drive my car automatically, then I would save 2 hours of time. So
5 years from now, you will.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm waiting for that. So now it's done.
Great, guys. Thank you very much for coming out to see me. Let me see if I get this projector on here. I need some help here.